Hey besties, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Alecia, and I'm so happy you're here today. I'm doing something that feels a little unhinged and a little spooky. I'm attempting to read for 24 hours for Summerween. Summerween is that perfect spooky time of year where we pretend it's fall/Halloween season, as I like to call it, even though it's 90 degrees, and if I step outside, I'll immediately be sweating through my spooky shirt, but we commit to the bit. I'll be spreading the 24 hours across 3 days because unlike some of you psychos, I need sleep and time to recover from all the book trauma because we will be reading spooky books, and with spooky books definitely comes some trauma. I'm giving you screams, I'm giving you spooky but make it summer, and I'm giving you deeply questionable characters. Let's talk TVR. The books I'll be reading for this 24-hour reading vlog: Confessions, a fast-paced Japanese thriller full of revenge; Chlorine, a powerful novel of immigration, sapphic longing, and fierce, defiant becoming in the form of a girl who thinks she's turning into a mermaid, or is she actually? We don't know, but we're about to find out. Mayfly, a dark, unsettling descent into the mind of a woman who's unraveling in the most unexpected and disturbing ways. And With a Vengeance by Riley Sager, one of my favorite thriller authors, and one of my most anticipated reads of the year. One Train, No Stops, a deadly game of survival and revenge. Can't wait. Without further ado, let's read. And obviously, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you do enjoy this reading vlog. All right, starting out, we are actually going to listen to Confessions on audiobook. So I'm gonna do some chores and some other little things around the house because nothing says domestic goddess like revenge-fueled psychological warfare playing through your earbuds. Let's start the timer. All right, you guys, first check-in of this Summerween 24-hour reading vlog. So Confessions, let's talk. Y'all, when I tell you this book has me clutching my metaphorical pearls, just literally gasping, can't contain myself. I'm like doing chores and just like literally, even from the opening chapter, okay? So this teacher is insane, but like also kind of rooting for her, but she's also kind of off the rails, but she's so calm about it. Like she's so like, nonchalant. So she's basically just like, okay, students, gather around. I want to tell you guys a story, basically, or whatever. Here's today's lesson. You know, I know that some of you in this room were responsible for my little girl's death. And here's what I did about it. And I have to say already so far, this is a perfect audiobook for any of you that are always looking for a new audiobook. I would highly recommend this one so far, but we're only an hour and some change in. So let's keep going and see how I'm feeling in the next check-in. Hey guys, time for the second check-in. Every time I think I know where this story is going, it flips the script. Each chapter is like finding another piece of a puzzle that you're just like racing to finish because I want to know the ending so bad. These kids in this book, like they're disturbing. The mother, unforgiving, absolutely unforgiving. Yes, it's twisted and messed up what she did, but it's also like you can't take someone's child away or be part of the reason that a child was taken away and then expect to not have any consequences, especially because the mother just knows that like because these are children, the law won't bring justice. So it's like, honestly, yeah, if the law is not going to bring justice, sometimes you got to do stuff yourself. I cannot stop listening. So on that note, I'm gonna put my headphones on. Listen to my favorite song, soaking up the rain, letting my hair down, gonna put my headphones on. Go and put your headphones on. I just finished Confessions and my soul has left the chat. Legit, it's the kind of book that crawls under your skin. That ending, I'm going to be thinking about that for weeks. Like, I'm still wrapping my head around it. I am absolutely rating this book 5 stars. I didn't even really have to think about it. Like, as soon as I finished it, I was like 5 stars immediately. Not your typical thriller, but I will say if you like fast-paced, psychological, like planned out revenge, and then also getting like different points of views in a book, you will absolutely eat this up. And I will say that I am a fan of most thrillers and I ate this up. So yeah, if your reading taste is anything like mine, please pick this book up, or at least pick up your headphones, put your headphones on, because it's incredible. So moving on from confessions, I'm a little over 6 hours into the 24 hours. So to stay on track, I need to read for at least 2 more hours today because I'm trying to go for 8 hours over 3 days. So I'm going to pick up Chlorine by Jade Song. So this book is about a Chinese American competitive swimmer who wants to become a mermaid, or actually thinks they are. I don't know entirely because I haven't read the book yet, but that's what I know about it so far. So without further ado, let's go get Chlorine. Okay, I just cracked open Chlorine. I'm not that far into it at all, but yeah, it's already giving creepy girlhood body horror vibes. Like, I can kind of see where it might be leading, and I'm a little scared, but also super intrigued. Really like this kind of lyrical, almost feels like a journal entry type of writing because it feels more personal, I guess, and it feels, I don't know, I feel like I can empathize with the main character in here a little more when it is written that way. So anyways, I really like how kind of lyrical but also creepy and haunting the writing is. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna read for a little bit longer until I hit that 8-hour mark, and then I will do my final check-in of the day probably, and then we will finally take off our makeup. It's been quite a day, quite a long day. We will take off our makeup and head to bed and get ready for day 2 of the readathon. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, guys, we have made it to the final check-in of day 1. So I'm about 100 pages into Chlorine, which is, I thought I would get a little bit further, but I guess when I really think about it, my reading pace usually is every 100 pages takes me about 2 hours. So it tracks, but I was hoping to be further, but that's okay. So we're going to end on page 100 of Chlorine, and we have hit the 8-hour mark. So for tomorrow, we are definitely going to start with Chlorine. My first piece of business tomorrow will be to finish this. So this book is so far very weird, but in a great way, and kind of gross. And I feel like it's only going to get progressively grosser, but for some reason I'm into it. Cause I will say I'm usually not a body horror girly, but a lot of the body horror in this seems to be focused on girl stuff. And I'm just almost like, it's not even scary to me because a lot of it's like, yeah, that's what we go through. Like I already like been there, done that. Like it happens, like it's reality. So it's just like not scary or gross or anything because it's like I'm a girl too, so I know, like, you know what I mean? So loving this so far. But anyways, I am so tired. I love that I got to read all day, but I definitely need some sleep. So we are going to go take off my makeup and hit the hay. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, besties. We are 8 hours into this 24-hour Summerween readathon, and I'm starting off day 2. with finishing Chlorine. So if you remember from last night, I am about 100 pages into Chlorine and I just need to finish that book this morning. So that is my main goal and I'm loving this book so far. So without further ado, let's start reading for today and let's get our 8 hours in. Okay, you guys, I just finished Chlorine and I am obsessed. Just like the first book we read in this Summerween readathon, this book is definitely going to stick with me for a while. Like, I'm going to be thinking of this book long after finishing it. It's haunting and it's gritty and it's disturbing, but in such a realistic way, if that makes sense, but with also some surrealism thrown in there, it felt like. So absolutely loved this book. So this book for me is definitely a 5-star read. I don't fully understand the ending. I don't fully understand, not that I don't fully understand, but we're kind of left on not a cliffhanger, but we're kind of left wondering, like we're not fully told what happened in the end. So even though I'm still wondering, and a lot of the times I hate those endings where it's like, just tell me what happened. With this one, it felt kind of just right. Like it made sense that we would kind of be left wondering. But yeah, so anyways, we are 2.5 hours in to the 8 hours for today. I've just been reading in my bedroom. So now I'm about to finally get out of bed. All right. Hey guys, it is time for the next read, Mayfly. And I wanted to show you guys my really cool bookmark. And if you noticed, it matches my nails. So cutesy, so fun for our little Summerween vibes. So I've been hearing a lot of stuff about this book, and I've been hearing that it's great to read during the summertime and Summerweeny atmosphere because, or around Halloween time, but I specifically wanted to read it around summertime because it's got theme park vibes, and for me, that just screams summer. But I have heard that this is completely unhinged and super disturbing, which I feel like is the perfect book to follow Chlorine. But we'll see. Midway check-in through Mayfly. I'm about halfway into it, and this book is intense. The writing is okay. Like I'm finding myself wanting to continue reading. Like the writing style isn't boring or anything like that, at least in my opinion. But the gore, the violence, it's a lot. I'm really trying to keep up with her descent into madness, but honestly, I'm not sure I want to follow her all the way down. But anyways, I just wanted to update you guys. So far, this one is very mid for me just because it is very gory, and that's kind of the main focus, I would say, I guess, is like the descriptions of gore. But I will say that I'm interested enough to not DNF. Like I do want to keep reading. I will just say that I feel like a lot of the stuff that would maybe hit for gore fans just isn't hitting for me because I'm not a gore person. I just don't care about it at all, and it bores me if anything. So not even bores me, especially in this one. The gore is very like, it makes me feel sick, but not in like a fun cutesy way, in a like, I need to put this book down for a minute kind of way, unfortunately, but let's keep reading. Just finished Mayfly and I don't really know how to feel. I totally can get why people like this book. It's bold, it's original, it's, you know, finally a female being a serial killer vibes rather than a man. And I feel like a big point of this book was to kind of show that, like, because I think it was mentioned a few times in the book, if I remember, but it definitely kept hitting on the point that, like, when a man serial killer is a serial killer, you don't necessarily go like, what made him that way? He can just be inherently violent and awful, but you don't think the same about a woman. And I guess for me, that didn't hit as hard personally, just because I've never been that person that thinks that way. Like, I majored in psychology in school. Like, I've always been super interested into why any person does horrible things. Just like, I want to know the reason behind it. So I've never been a person that's been like, oh, men or people are just inherently that way. Cause I still don't know if I like really believe that. With her, it was supposed to be mainly that like, there's no real reason for it. She just is. But like, in the end though, there is a reason. So I just didn't really get that part or understand where that was coming from. Like, I can understand it. I didn't care. Cause I was like, I don't really feel that way. So whatever. But overall, there were moments that I enjoyed, but I would say a majority of it was just very cringy. I feel like it may be a book where it was supposed to be cringy. Anyways, with this book, I'm giving this 3 stars because it's just not my cup of tea. I think there are lots of people that would really enjoy this. I think I'm just not one of them. And with that being said, we have hit another 8-hour mark. So we are officially 16 hours into the readathon. So that means that day 2 is officially done. We've conquered 2 books today. We finished Chlorine and we started and finished Mayfly. So proud of us. Look at us go. So tomorrow is day 3 and that will be our final day, and we will wrap things up with Riley Sager with a vengeance. So I can't wait. I am very tired though. So I'm going to get ready for bed, and then I cannot wait to wake up tomorrow and start with a vengeance. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too. See you in the morning. Good morning, besties. It is day 3 of the 24-hour readathon and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm definitely a little burnt out on reading. Okay, maybe a lot, but I am really excited that this is the last book in the readathon because I do love Riley Sager. So I feel like this is the perfect book to not put me in a reading slump after a 24-hour readathon. So I'm hoping it's good enough to where it keeps me on my toes and it keeps me intrigued and I don't just like crash out. So wish me luck. But yeah, I have 8 hours to read this, which I think should end up working out because I also, luckily, I got a skip the line loan. And if you have the Libby app and you use it at all, you know that that's like the best to get a skip the line loan, because I got the audiobook for With a Vengeance. So I have the physical and the audiobook. So I figured that would be nice for today. I'll probably physically read it as much as possible, but anytime that I'm like doing dishes or working out, whatever I'm going to do during the day that's like not sitting down physically reading, I'll be listening to it, which there's a part of me that's like, it does definitely take longer to finish a book when you are listening to it, because I feel like I can finish a book in about half the time. But yeah, let's go ahead and get reading. Whoop whoop. Okay, guys, I'm about halfway through With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. And my sister also at the same time she had already been listening to the audiobook because we share our library card. She lives in a different place than I do, so we both have different libraries we're a part of. And so we'll share our library accounts or whatever. So we both had access to the new Riley Sager audiobook, and she had started listening to it like a week prior, and she only got to 44%. And I was like, girl, are you going to finish this so I can start it, or like what's going on? And she was like, I don't think I'm gonna finish it. And we both love Riley Sager. Like we've read all of his other books and everything like that. So to hear from her that she was like gonna DNF, I was like, wow, there are so many different points of view. It goes back and forth, and like you kind of have to keep track. It's almost like a train whodunit essentially, but it also takes place in the past, like historically, and that's just not my thing. I understand why it had to be that way because there is like it all comes together. There is a reason for it and everything. That is definitely putting a little bit of a damper on me when I'm reading this, because I'm just like, what? It's just taking me a hot second to get into it because we are halfway through the book and there are things that I'm liking, but usually when I am this far in a Riley Sager book, I am more into it. I'm hooked. I'm loving it. I'm having the best time, and I'm just not feeling that with this book. I'm having a good time. I'm having an okay time. It's just not like gripping me at the moment. The thriller part of it just isn't really like, I just don't really care, I guess. And I don't know why I think it's because I don't really care about each of these individual people that are getting offed, because like you're not rooting for them. So it's just like the stakes for me personally while reading it, I'm just like, well, I don't care if they get offed. Like I'm kind of cool with it. I'm chill with it. So because I don't like them. Like I don't like them, so I don't care. And just, I can't help but compare to his other books that I just love. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to dive back in. I'm going to keep giving it chances, and we'll see where we go from there. But so far, I'm not super impressed, but I'm also not hating it. I want to keep reading. So I don't hate it as much as my sister does, but I will say that I am a romance girly, and she is not. Like, she does not read romance. And I have to say the romance aspect is kind of, and it's not even that big of an aspect in the book, but for me, that aspect is keeping me reading because it's keeping me engaged in the storyline. So yeah, if that makes any sense. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Talk to you guys in a bit. I finished. We finished the last book in the readathon. Yeah. Okay, so let's share my thoughts with the class. Okay, I had my theories throughout the book. Like, it definitely was one of those books where if you are a thriller reader, if this is a genre you read often, you're probably going to start to kind of try to piece it together, and be like, oh, I think it's this person, or I think it's this person. There was a theory that I had, and I think that theory almost kind of ruined it for me, not because the theory was correct, but because the theory was incorrect. But I was hoping for the theory. And then when that's not what happened, I was just kind of like, oh, well, what did happen now is like lackluster compared to what I imagined happened. So maybe if you are going to read this book, just don't go into it expecting much. Oh my gosh, I hate saying that because I love him as an author, but it just didn't blow my mind. In my opinion, it wasn't as good as his other work, and it definitely leaned a little more outside of the thriller realm. Personally, you know what? Overall, it was not a bad book. I would say that overall, if I wasn't comparing this to his other work, I would give it a 4 stars. So 4-star read. I think it is solid for a thriller. I just like his other books better. And I think a lot of people probably are doing the same thing of comparing to his other work, which like is just way more thriller heavy. And I will recommend to physically read it rather than listening to it, because I did feel like when I was able to sit down and physically read it, I understood it more, and I was able to like comprehend more and not be as confused. So that is a wrap on the 24-hour Summerween readathon. Let's do a quick wrap up of all the books. So Confessions, we listened to on audiobook. This one was 5 stars, absolutely blew my mind. It's short, sharp, and totally unhinged. The structure, genius. The reveals, unforgettable. It's dark, morally twisted, and so well crafted. It was like watching a psychological car crash in slow motion, and I could not look away. Then we had Chlorine. This book absolutely floored me. It was poetic, eerie, heartbreaking, and unsettling in the most beautiful way. It felt like slipping into a fever dream with lots of chlorine and mermaid lore. I still don't fully understand everything that happened, and I don't fully understand the ending, but I absolutely loved it. 5 stars. Then we read Mayfly, which this is a lot. I respect it, and I respect the fans of this book because you have a stronger stomach than me. So yeah, the extreme gore and violence in this book, not my vibe, but I respect the people that do enjoy that. So 3 stars. I felt like I was cringing more than I was connecting with the main female character in this. Then we have With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. If I just separate this from all of his other books, it was a pretty decent thriller. I would give it 4 stars because I would recommend once you get over 50% of the way through, it does pick up a little bit. So this is one of those that's a very slow burn in my opinion. So honestly, I feel like my brain has been through it for the past 3 days. We got 4 books read in 24 hours, 3 days of spooky chaos, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Let me know which one of these you've read or which one you're excited to pick up, and let me know what you're reading for Summerween. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful spooky time. I love you. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.